leading this group of young guys in the room. What's it been like for you? And how much have you just seen growth from them over the last month?
Yeah, it hasn't been hard. With experience comes wisdom. It's easy to articulate what I'm trying to get them to understand because I've been through a lot over the course of my seven years in the league. So it's been pretty easy to lead them in the right direction, and they've been listening. Real humble young group of guys who love to take advice. So
Amari, what do you think the state of the receivers room is right now? There's a lot of talk on the outside that we need help there, but what do you feel on the inside?
um, I don't feel like we need help, but I haven't been seeing what outside people have been saying. But you know, that's just something we have to wait and see. You know, once the games start rolling around, we'll see if we need help or not.
Amari, when coaches, teammates talk about you and talk about your route running, the double moves always comes up. I guess throughout your career, how have you developed that and really emphasized it as a route runner?
Um, just paying attention to detail, listening to my coaches. Um, just drawing inspiration from some of the best guys to ever do it, being real attentive, um, and understanding what moves the defensive back. So, all those things combined, I try to I try to be as successful as I can be in my route running.
Amari, we can watch preseason games and pick out, who's standing out to us all throughout training camp, but who's someone who's really caught your eye getting to know these guys and during this time that, maybe made an impact on the field or even in the film room that's just something you've seen them grow?
You mean receivers or anybody on the team? I think we've all collectively been doing a good job. Listen, the preseason doesn't mean anything. When the games start rolling around, nobody's going to ever talk about the preseason, nobody on the team, even with me being the oldest guy in the room, is a finished product. We're trying to get better every day. Um, I'm not even judging anybody in the room right now. Uh, I understand that we need to come out here and practice as hard as we can so that we can be ready for the games. Uh,
With you being the oldest guy in the room, like you said, were you aware of the leadership role you would have to take on in this room when you got here?
um, yeah, I think I'm just a natural leader. I've always been the same type of leader. I lead by example. You know, try to come out here and do everything the right way. I do understand that there's an aspect of, leading verbally, because some guys need that too. And when I was a young player, that was something that wasn't natural for me to do. But like I alluded to earlier, with experience, uh, with experience comes wisdom. So it's easy to articulate those leadership words that the young guys need, because I've been through a lot.
How along those lines, Jacoby's had to do a similar thing, come in here and establish himself as a leader in kind of a unique situation. How impressed have you been with the way he's kind of taken command of, him being the leader of this team as such for about 11 games or more?
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed. He comes in, he does everything the right way. I think he has a good grasp of what we're trying to do on offense. He understands who he is as a quarterback. Um, I think he just does everything the right way. The communication is great. So yeah, I'm really impressed with him.
I know Jacoby has talked about it too, but it seems like you two developed like kind of a chemistry very quickly, especially when you took over those reps with the ones. I guess just what about your guys' relationship has kind of helped that come along super fast?
Yeah, the chemistry is there. We're both from South Florida, so there was a natural bond there. We could just come up to each other and talk to each other, on and off the field. So I think that's a huge thing in terms of our relationship, in terms of our connection and everything like that.
Did you know each other before he came here or you came here or anything?
Yeah, I knew of him.
Okay.
I'm sure he knew of me, but we didn't actually know each other.
When you talked about growing more comfortable and being a vocal leader, when did you kind of find that comfort level to be able to be more vocal in that role?
Yeah, just growing up, I was always just very reserved, kid, kind of shy. But just with time, I think it was honestly just a natural progression. I don't think anybody's gonna stay reserved or shy forever. It's just not in the nature of a human. I don't think so. I'm not really that reserved anymore, or at least not as reserved as I used to be. So, like I said, it was a natural progression. It's something that was easy to do.
Since you've gotten here, not every player fits in every offense. So how do you, now that you've gone through camp and that, just how do you think you really fit in this Browns offense, regardless of who the quarterback is?
Yeah, I think over time I've noticed like a shift and a change in the way the coaches approach play calling and scheme. It used to be like some coaches ran a certain scheme and that's the scheme that they were sticking with through thick and thin. But now it seems like coaches are more willing to stay within the scheme that they believe in, but also like call plays that fit the players that are in the building. You know what I mean? Like if you have a scheme and it doesn't really fit the best players on your offense or the best players on your defense, it's not gonna work.
Amari,
So.
after you, the receiving core is based a lot of untested people.
Huh?
So my question is,
Wait, say that again.
I said after you, there are a lot of untested players among the receivers.
Oh, yeah.
So my question is this team going to have to run the ball to win, or can it be more of a passing offense than some critics think it should be?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to wait and see. We got 17 weeks coming up real soon, so that time can answer the question better than I can.
You talked about Jacoby embracing that leadership role. Can you also sense that he's really eager for that opportunity to start for 11 weeks because it's been a couple years since he's done it?
Of course, who wouldn't be? I mean, this league is all about opportunity. Life really is all about opportunity, and I don't really know many people who aren't eager for that opportunity they've been waiting for, basically since they were young kids, So, of course, you can see it is there, and that's why we prepare. That's why he prepares, and like I said again, we'll just see how it goes. But we all believe in him. We see what he does in practice. We see his preparation. So.
Do you think this young receiving core could surprise people, or will it take a month or two for that to happen?
Again, I believe in the young guys. Like I said, I see the way they practice. They make plays. They're very attentive. They're very humble, and so they're always seeking advice, and they take the advice that they hear, and they bring it out onto the field. So yeah, I believe that those guys can surprise a lot of people. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. With young players, there's ebbs and flows, ups and downs. So what advice do you give the young guys that maybe had a bad day?
Yeah, I mean, there's ebbs and flows with everybody. Today wasn't my best practice. But that's what make you eager to come out here the next day and put on a show. So there's ebbs and flows for everybody. As far as the young guys, I just don't quite think they understand that there's ebbs and flows as much as the older guys do. So that's why they kind of need some advice early on. Tell them, hey, that's just how it goes. Make sure you're doing everything right so that you can come out here and have a great practice the next day. Make sure you're catching jugs. All those little things. So yeah, you just give them advice on how to get better because they don't quite know how to be a pro yet. With the schedule and everything like that. So yeah.
It seems like the rookies, like David, Michael, they seem receptive. Like all these rookies, not just even a receiver, seem receptive to advice from veterans. I guess, have you experienced that in your room then?
Yeah, like that's what I was alluding to. They're very receptive. A lot of times guys come from college and they think what they've done in college might count for something, and it really doesn't. You know what I mean? Every year across the league, you get guys who are undrafted, and they come in and they perform better than the guys who are drafted. So that's where being humble comes in. That being humble always coming as a babe. Being receptive to all types of information that can help you.
You've handed into a lot of week ones before, but new team, new playbook, new quarterback. Does it feel any different to you?
Yeah, it always feels a little different. With the the idiosyncrasies of play calling, I would say. Every play caller. They call plays different, and they put in different types of plays. They run the plays different types of ways. when it's really kind of all the same. So, yeah, I might line up in a different split to run certain routes when I'm used to lining up in another split to run that same route. So, yeah.
Anthony's obviously gone
Two
through.
more here.
Anthony's obviously had tough couple of weeks. He's sort of borne the brunt of a lot of frustration from fans. Have you kind of reached out and said something to him, kind of help him keep his spirits up?
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen. I mean, so when you're young, you think the ebbs and flows are just common to you, but it's been guys who've been through the same exact problems since the start of the league. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, history is the best teacher. You look at guys like Tony Gonzalez, who openly speaks about leading the league in drops or not having his best games or best practices or whatever. And he went and he did something about it. He put in the extra work. And guys is one of the best tight ends ever played the game. He's a Hall of Famer. And so those are the guys that you want to learn from. But to answer your question, yeah, I talked to him. The great thing about Anthony is he really cares about the way he performs. You get some guys who they don't really care. They'll tell you, man, I just want to play a couple years, make some money, and then I'm done. But you can tell that's not the case with him. He really wants to come out here and be great. He understands that he has a great potential, and we all see that in him. So, he just has to, put in some more work, just like the rest of us have to do, and he'll be all right.